this is a movie where it would have been real easy to fuck up the legacy of Gladiator, because when you got something that's coming out so long after the original being a fucking classic, it can go either way. People were cautious. Some people was like, I'm not gonna go see it. You know what I mean? Some people made up their minds just off rip, because we've seen legacies get tainted by movies coming out X amount of years after the OG one and kind of fuck things up a little bit. I just looked at it like, as long as it feels like a worthy sequel, because it's not going to replace the original. It's never going to replace the original. As long as it comes out and it feels like a worthy sequel, that's all I want. And I'm proud to say we got a movie that came out and felt like a worthy sequel. Like, it paid homage to the OG one. It wasn't set out to replace it. We building on that and taking things further. And you got a whole bunch of motherfuckers that's stealing scenes in this joint, and it's just acting, and it's just crazy calculating things happening, and motherfuckers playing chess. Of course, no spoilers in the beginning, but it was just a powerhouse of acting and violence.
Oh, the violence.
Violence, yo.
The violence.
Like,
when the dude
yo.
And the boy hit the
yeah.
And then the one time with
yo. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted to see. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And we got that shit.
Listen, it brought me to tears.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It brought me to tears just now, because you think about how much time and effort they put into that film. You can see it through the production value. You can see it through the time, the development of the characters that have been there from their first time on set or from the past coming back to set. That's a huge thing to kind of build up that character you had from way back when and bring that same energy back.
Bring the same energy back. That is the main thing that people wanted. And that's the main thing that you have to do when you do something like this.
Yes.
You know what's crazy? I kind of I got scared the first 8 minutes of the film. Not the first 8 minutes, the first half hour. I got scared because I had seen a lot of CGI as far as like the animals that they use, some animals. So I was like, oh no, don't fuck up Gladiator for me by using some cheesy shit. But they got right back on track for me. After I got past the CGI animals, they really dove back into giving me that Gladiator feel. They didn't try to update it and make things seem more modern. You get what I'm saying? I was afraid of it because the music in the trailer.
The first trailer,
I was like, nah, don't do this.
That wasn't it. But then the second trailer came out that fixed that and had the right music. And it felt on point the whole entire time. And like the level of violence in this joint, I'm like, that is Gladiator. When you see these arena battles and how they just scrapping and fighting, I'm like, yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah. And you know what I loved about it too? Speaking of the fighting, you never knew who was going to win.
Right.
Okay, because like, normally when you see fights, a lot of times they always have an upper hand here or there.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, that person is getting their ass, well, they gotta die. But no, this one, I was like, wait a minute, they trade him for real.
Yeah, they was scrapping, everybody was getting fucked up. So you didn't really know how it was gonna play out. And then when alliances formed, you're like, you don't know what's gonna happen, because you got a lot of backstabbing, you got a lot of betrayal, you got a lot of like strategic moving, like I said, chess. And it just furthered things along where this is still the same world from the first movie, except, it didn't play out the way you thought it was going to. Certain things that were kind of like set in motion. You know what I mean? Life happens and things go differently. And, some people go left, some people go right. And it just, it felt gritty as fuck. It felt real. And it felt like if I was in this motherfucker, I'm dead in the first 5 minutes.
Well, that's guaranteed. As soon as somebody tells me we're going to war, what?
They knocking heads off in this bitch. Like they don't give a fuck.
I ain't dying. Okay. First
of all,
that's not
okay. So man, how you gonna live? How you gonna live through this?
For this, okay?
You are.
I've been written into the character, the plot, where I was gonna sit there and last to the end of the movie.
How?
Okay. I was just gonna sit there on the edge of the arena.
Okay.
And every time
someone
died, I was gonna ring my bell. That was all I had. It was
a
ding,
bell?
Ding, ding, ding. That's a death right there. That was my role. I was a ding dinger.
So you would survive guaranteed. Like
all
right. So
you would ding dinger in the arena
every time. Ding ding ding.
All right. So when one of those monkeys with the razor blade teeth.
Oh yeah.
So you good?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, right there.
They're gonna have your skeleton using that as a bell.
Yep.
Ding 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 ding.
ding. Wow.
Yeah.
He who thought.
That's how y'all gonna do me?
That's no, it's glad. That's how you going.
I'm not.
That's how you going out.
That. Okay, that's
your
not
whole
how
skeleton bell.
Be the broke neck lady.
My father, okay, Denzel had my back. All right. And speaking of Denzel, I want to go ahead and make sure I give him his credit and his love and his respect. That dude is a master. And I'm gonna say it 2 times. A master of presence.
Yeah.
Anytime he was in the scene, I was just like, this. How you as soon as you walk in, and I just see this. I just see hands. He didn't do nothing special yet, y'all.
Denzel's so good. When they hand him the script, they tell him just go do your thing.
Do you?
And he look at the script. He's like, all right, I'm gonna change this. But he doesn't tell you.
He don't tell nobody.
He changed it on the fly.
He don't tell nobody.
It just looks natural. The way he's like moving and the way he's laughing and all that. It's like it just seems like this is just him. You know what I mean? He's the character now, and this is how the character would react in this situation. Yep. And he's just that fucking good. But he's with other people that are that fucking good. Too. Like you got man.
The main character, I gotta give it to him too. The lead of the story, I would say he held his own so great and carried the story so well. Oh, because that's a hard thing to kind of let's walk into when you got someone like Russell Crowe to kind of follow up.
That's a big presence to follow after.
It's huge and like they just did it so beautifully. I loved it.
It was a great time. It was a great follow up to Gladiator. I'm not gonna say it was perfect because there were some things where I'm like, you know what I mean?
Could have been better.
Yeah, there's and I'll get to them. I'll get to them later. Like, but
that was there.
But it was still a movie worthy of the Gladiator name. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like they understood the assignment. They went in there and said, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to do A, B, and C. And then, they threw a little A through Z in there. You know what I mean? Because, like, we can flex a little bit. So let's explore other things that we can do. And they went a little crazy. And that's exactly what we wanted. Because when you sit down and watch a Gladiator movie, you want to say, God damn. I mean, and I was saying that multiple times. I didn't get the pleasure of watching the original Gladiator in the theater. Yeah. You know what I mean? I caught it on TV and DVD and later on and all that. But being able to watch a Gladiator movie in the theater was a great experience. Yeah. And they paid homage to the original, and that's what I wanted to fucking see.
And as fans, like when you really go and watch somebody that makes an effort to make it that great, you knew fans was in the room. Because the time that I walked in and we talked about the script, right? We said, hey, I want to make sure. What
script did you watch?
See, what y'all not gonna do? What y'all not gonna do is disrespect the fact that I sat there.
Go ahead.
Where did you sit?
Go ahead. Where'd you?
In the high chair? Where'd you sit? Legs swinging, like I want to do this. So that's man. No.
You tell me where were you? Right.
Exactly. Skeleton Bell, Part 2.
I was out here ring-a-dinging.
He was tied to the bottom of the ship in the beginning.
Every time I ring-a-ding, I told
him,
him, listen, this is what we need to do. I need to do 7 ring-a-dings every time we have a ring.
Yeah, you said that?
Exactly that.
You know what? Fuck that.
I'm supposed to be in the movie for a reason, so I'm ring-a-dinging.
So with that being said,
he was in the Glacier, not the Gladiator.
This movie was a great follow-up. If you are a fan of the original, go see this shit. If you love the trailer, go see this. It's just a great action movie, great scenes, great follow-up. Just go see this motherfucker.
Ring-a-ding.
With that being said, spoiler time. In 3, 2, 1, he died in 5 seconds.
Oh my God! Now, I was there.
When I tell you that Denzel was playing
chess,
multi-level, like multi-dimensional astral projection chess,
this type Jones.
It's just like from the beginning he had a game plan, and he knew what he wanted to do. He's willing to throw anybody under the bus to get what he wanted. He wanted to watch Rome burn. Mm-hmm. Like he. That's what he wanted to do. And honestly, he damn near got there.
No, he got it.
Yo, he was just
he got it.
Fuck backstabbing. He was ear stabbing. He was throat slicing. It was fucking.
Let me help you with this.
Right in the ear.
Yeah.
And he was such a beautifully developed character too. Yeah. Because he never got blood on his hands unless it was the last minute for it. Yeah. Right. There was the moment where the brothers, right, was the emperors, and it was having that moment of like, the weaker brother ready to snap over anything because his little monkey friend. Yeah. Which I thought was weird, by the way. They had a monkey in there.
I mean, he was thrown off. They established that.
But it was the simple fact that you're gonna sit there and see him slash off his brother's hands and then have it at his throat. As soon as you see the boy say, "Help me," and the first thing he does is help the hand. He didn't take it from him. He helped the hand guide it. Yeah. And you just see the brother just gone. And that showed exactly the type of level of manipulation he's able to compare. Yo, it was
and cut his shit off and paraded it around. He's sitting there. It's like a fucking puppet.
So
like,
he put the head inside of a bag and went to the meeting
and was having eye contact through the head.
The head was like
through the head.
Help me!
Where your body at?
That shit was crazy. And the way he commanded the whole entire crowd, he told them when to clap, when to sit, when to speak. Like he just had full control. Now
that was the plan.
One of my criticisms is like the twins didn't feel like as much of a threat as the villain in the first movie, because Joaquin Phoenix played a motherfucker that you hated from the jump. Like it took me a while to actually not hate this motherfucker and watch his movies after that, because I'm like, I can't stand this bitch. And when he got at the end, I almost threw a parade.
Yeah,
these motherfuckers didn't feel like that level of threat, but then at the same time, you had Denzel, which was honestly the real villain of the movie. So that's why I kind of excuse that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like Denzel was the one that was moving strategically, and he was the one that was really in charge
the whole time.
So I'm like, they didn't really feel like a level of threat as, you know, the previous, but you still had you know, different variables. So I'm like, okay, all right. They could have been ramped up a little bit. They felt like a couple of spoiled brats that were just there just to wild out and do whatever. I'm like, they were serviceable, but you know, they could have been a little bit more.
Now, before you go any further about them, do you remember how you felt about Joffrey in Game of Thrones?
Yeah. I still hate him to this day.
Yes.
Now, look at what you just said. They didn't feel as much. The biggest threat is someone who has no control over themselves.
That's right.
That's why they were major villains to me. I saw two spoiled ass, entitled motherfuckers. That scared me more than Denzel at a certain point, because I'm looking like they live by no code.
Yeah.
This is what's ruling Rome at the moment. And when you go through the whole movie, Denzel was the real villain.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal was one of the heroes that we wanted.
Yeah, he seemed like a villain, but
he was gonna be one.
But he really wasn't. Like, he was just doing his job in the beginning. Unfortunately, that caused him to kill dude's wife. So he was on his radar from jump.
Rage.
But he wasn't really a villain. Like, he was just, you know, it was a means to when he's like, yo, listen, fuck all this shit. I got the armies coming in. We're gonna take this shit the fuck over. You know what I mean? So
you remember his face when the bodies were burning?
Yes, that was the main thing I took.
That right there helped me understand what he was.
Yeah, because like when you in the beginning when he does all that, and then you see him, he's not really about that life. He's like, just get me the fuck out of here, man. Like, I'm not with all this shit.
Yeah.
Like every time he was forced to give a speech, he was like reluctantly doing. It's like, glory to Rome,
which I also think was a testament to how the emperors were moving.
Yeah,
because the one older brother, which is why Denzel had to off him, had a little bit of knowledge to him.
Oh yeah.
That's the him protecting his younger brother. Was the main reason he couldn't get the kind of level of respect he wanted. So he tried to shift things. He was trying to play his own version of chess.
Yeah, he
wanted Pedro Pascal's character to be to come into the center of like, oh, this is your king.
Yeah,
this is the person that y'all want to support. Hey, he's with me. He's with me. Anytime you seen him do the whole the judgment, it was always whatever the people were screaming.
Yeah,
that's the first thing he goes after, because he wanted the people's love so bad.
Yeah,
you just can't seem to make a solid decision that actually is in the right realm for the people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they were really good play as far as like a reason why they were the way they were, and I think that was a great development just to kind of build up that animosity of like, all right, we can't deal with them no more. They gotta go.
And like the older brother was, actually both of them were trying to punk Pedro Pascal's character, and that's where I get into like, if they were like a couple of twin Joffreys, like I think that would have like ramped it up, and you would have really hated these motherfuckers, because like it's like they were trying to do it, but at the same time they weren't really on that level. And he was playing the game because he knew what he had to do to, you know what I mean? Because he's on some double Asian shit, so he's like, all right, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like he had to move a certain way.
When he laughed at them, I said, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
Y'all lost all.
Main man pulled the swat, should kill you right now.
I said, "Bro, you about to die." And
when you watch nowadays, I realize something. This is about me. I've had to learn to slow my mind down when I watch certain films. Usually, I want things to happen just like that. I want bombs to go off. I need heads on the pike. Movies like this, Denzel himself has taught me within this film that certain actors become the character, but they also become the movie.
Right.
What he did in this movie was brilliant, because I've watched a lot of films, and this was really high level treachery.
Mm.
He really played the backfield strong. He wasn't anyone's friend.
No.
He cared for no one. When he showed you the stamp on his body and where he came from, he's been planning on getting back.
Oh,
yeah. Because like he has a reason to be as mad as he is. He's like, listen, that motherfucker owned me. I was on some like he had me on some bullshit. Like, fuck it, I want to watch this shit burn. Like that may be your father, but fuck that. It's like I'm taking all this shit, and you can't do nothing about it. Like when he found out that dude was her son, like he moved quickly.
Oh yeah, he saw the way he was studying.
He was just sitting there observing. Like he was an observer the whole entire time, and that's the most dangerous kind of villain. A dude that's smart and patient. Yes. Because he's biding his time. He's seeing what's going on. He's seeing how people move. He knows how to play the game. He says the right thing. It's like, okay, yeah. He'll humble himself to it was
the bows he did too.
Like to be able to get in close and stab you in the fucking neck.
Oh my God.
You saw how he look at his, if we go back and watch it again, look at how he looked at the mother when her son was in the arena about to die. He looked at her, he was like, oh, you care about him a little too much.
Yeah.
And he took that with a grain of salt and said, I know who that is to you.
I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to jump on the mother real quick because a lot of things that I realized when I noticed it again, because I did watch it twice, I paid attention to it a little bit differently. You know that little flower she on her hand, that lavender? That's a way to relax yourself. Right? That's an old school way of doing that. So you think about the last time she seen games with Maximus and all that. The trauma that was built up from that, you can see was built into her character now. So that now she's every scene you see her in, she's always sniffing on the lavender the whole time. This is like supposed to relax. I'm like, yo, that is such a beautiful thing to see because the trauma of you watching the man that you love, who's apparently the father of your son. Whoa. That joint left a mark on me just as far as like development of the story and also the growth of what's going on in that time.
Yeah.
That was a gorgeous thing to see. But Denzel, man.
And I didn't even realize that kid was Maximus's son. Like when I watched the first movie, it never even like maybe if I watch it again, maybe I'll see the context clues, but I never figured that out. I thought he was just just a kid that Maximus took a liking to, and you know what I mean when he could
once in a while just rock out with her.
Like it was obvious they had history because she was trying to move in on him. He's like, no, that was a long time ago. Yeah. But I didn't fucking know that was the product of that. Like I had no idea until this until this movie. And I'm like, oh shit. So it makes sense when he's having the same mannerisms and same moves, like picking the sand up and doing all this.
That runs up the stairs.
Yeah. And it makes sense that he did that because like his father did that. And as a kid. Like he took a liking to Maximus, not even knowing that was his pops. Like and just how they pay that off in this one with the same movements and everything. It's just crazy. And then when he picked up the sand, did this, she realized it, and then I realized it. I'm like, oh shit!
It was a click.
He tried to tell me early in the film. He's like, that's Maximus' son. I'm over there telling him no. I said no.
It was, you know what it was for me? In the beginning, it was the speech. If you remember the speech that Maximus does in the beginning of the film, he like rallies the troops. It's almost in a way of like, almost like a college football game type of coach. Right. And I'm like, that's familiar. That's kind of familiar. It's a little rough, but it's familiar.
It's in the moment. It's like I ain't had time to prepare this. Nope. It's like it's in the moment. We you know what I mean? We got our backs against the wall. Yep. We gonna do this shit. Fuck them niggas. Let's get this shit done.
Yep.
And that shit was just crazy. I'm telling you, the twists and turns in this and how like Denzel, man.
I ain't gonna lie, he should have took the dub, bro, in the end. Yeah. Because the way he was stabbing in the water, dog. That should have pierced the armor. If dude
didn't have Maximus's armor on, he would have been skewered. Because in the water, he was doing this and he wasn't pulling no punches or nothing.
No, like I was ready to ding my bell.
They were scrapping, you would have still died. They were scrapping. Like, but when he set everything up, because like when dude said, I want the general's head, and he set that shit up. And then, you know what I mean, when in the ring, when they found out like who each other was, and like he said, like, I'm this and all that, when dude was like, I'm letting him go. When that shit happened, I'm like, oh shit. Denzel saw that shit, he's like, nah, fuck that.
Man, they did my man Pedro Pascal dirty though.
Yeah.
He got Detroit. He got
Porcupine, bro.
He got the Brad Pitt treatment, bro. The first one hit him, douche, boom. Next one,
Yo, yeah.
And the main character was looking like, nah, I don't want him to die no more.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew he was going to die because everyone who was
I'm just glad it wasn't by his hand though.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's the main thing because he saw that shit and in that moment he's like, all right, fuck it.
Now would that have made you dislike the main character more?
If you killed him?
Still killed him?
I mean, I would have understood because like that's still
His
the
wife.
guy that took your wife.
Yeah.
He killed his wife. So I wouldn't have liked it, but I would have understood like, I mean, you deserve some vengeance for that.
Yeah.
But it's like when his mom was set to be executed, and he was trying his hardest to stop that shit, and they were successful. He actually got up there. Denzel once again, he saw that shit. He's like, nah, give me the ball. Took that chick out himself.
Yeah.
Right here, kill shot. I said, yo, this dude is a demon.
He got the strongest two bodies as far as kills.
Yo,
the most
I told you, the most dangerous villain is the one that's patient, calculated, and observes what's going on and knows how to get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
Not that whole rash. I'm gonna do this shit now. Like no, he'll wait. He'll bide his time. You saw how he walked in dude's crib when he's like, yeah, you owe money. All this shit's mine now.
This is mine.
Just kissing him on the cheek and on the, yeah. This is mine. Run that.
He said.
Man was like,
the house.
he was like, hey, I know I still owe you. He said, you good. It's my shit already. It's my shit.
Yeah, that was Denzel talking. Like this is already mine.
Something is gonna be mine, and I don't want to buy your loyalty. I want it.
And
I mean, that's it.
That was what I'm not going to make this anymore. I'm not going to make this lengthy. All I'm going to say is Denzel knows how to read a script. Mm-hmm. He goes home with his wife probably and says, "Look, this is what I'm gonna do."
Yeah.
And his mannerisms were so training day-ish, but in a Roman time.
Right.
And it was scary. I am more afraid of a low-spoken person than a loudmouth motherfucker.
Yeah, because sometimes a loudmouth motherfucker, they're projecting. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing to back that up. Or they might act erratic, but somebody who's soft-spoken means he's dangerous.
And confident.
Yeah, what the fuck is he planning? Like, obviously, we're talking about Denzel. Like, there's damn near everybody in this movie is on that type time where they go above and beyond. Like, the mother plays an incredible role, like tying everything together. When she realizes who he is, she goes sees him personally, and of course he has some animosity because it's like, yeah, you gave me up. Like, what the fuck is going on? But like, she did that to save him because she knew what was going on, and that's the only way to keep him alive. Because what Maximus wanted to happen and what her father wanted, that shit didn't even end up panning out because like people's like, nah, fuck that. There's pushback and.
She even messed up the plans of the overtaking.
Yeah.
She fucked just to make sure she could try to save him.
Yeah.
And that was a deep moment. I'm like, dang.
That was a Star Wars moment. Yeah. And I got to send you somewhere else so they don't find you. So one more question before we wrap this shit up. Between the both of y'all, realistically, like real ass answer. If Denzel had got everything he wanted and won, and if the movie went off with Denzel being on top, are you okay with it? Because really quick, I'm okay with that.
I don't think anybody would have been okay with that. Right. Nah, there'd have been riots, yo.
It would have been a problem, but I could see a third installment of Gladiator being built off of that.
Right.
That would be the only reason I would say that'd be cool. But nah, I'd have been cool off of it. I mean, I think Denzel did need to take an L on that one. Yeah, he had to. I thought he honestly shouldn't have after I seen this.
Yeah, he got almost everything that he wanted, but at the end is like, it's you against him.
Yeah.
And I mean,
the story needed it.
Yeah,
because I was ready there. I was about to ring a ding ding, and then
I mean,
you'd have been sitting there with the 20 arrows in you. Yeah, ring a ding. Pin
cushion.
cushion.
Put me on the ring a ding. As long as I put my ring a ding ding on a shirt, that's all I need.
That fucking bell won't drop so fast.
It's still ring a ding. That's why I die.
I'll say one final criticism that I had, and this isn't even really. It's more of a nitpick.
Right.
Is the final scene of the movie when he sees where his mother died and then looks it's damn near inches away from where his father died where he collapsed and they picked up his body and moved him. That scene was fine, but then he's like looking to his father for strength and all that, and then they cut to the
the credits,
the hand and the flowers.
It cuts through that, and then it just and then that's it. I feel like we need a little bit more.
We did need something
because it feels like an abrupt ending. It feels like they had more, but then they cut it away. I don't know. It feels a little. If that felt a little abrupt.
It was the blood that he took off of the place where his mother died to bring it to the place where he brought the gravel. And I think in a sense it was supposed to create that same peace that that Maximus felt when he walked through.
When he was walking through.
Yeah.
That means death.
That's kind of what I felt like that was kind of like driving towards. But I felt like it did need like a little
just a little, because it was just that, and then it cut the credits. It just felt a little abrupt. I felt like it could have been a little smoother, but once again, that's just a nitpick.
Yeah.
That didn't change the movie for me.
Oh, that's why he dropped his popcorn when the shit just cut off.
Yeah, because I'm like I need a little bit more.
Could have gave sign.
But you know what I mean? Either way, it was a great experience. It was great to be able to watch a sequel to Gladiator in the movie theater, a legit sequel that built off the first one. Even him wearing the armor that Maximus wore, and that was
out looking just like him.
That was a great scene. Like he had the similar build and the fighting style and all that. The arena battles were fucking crazy. The muffin with the rhinos, you had the boat battle was crazy. Like the battles were fucking phenomenal. So there was so much good in this movie. I had like a little critique, like a couple critiques and nitpicks, but in the grand scheme of things, it was a great sequel. It was a great fucking movie, and I highly recommend this motherfucker.
Yes, ring a ding ding. Y'all gonna let me have that?
Just give me a minute.
All right, get the fuck out.
God damn, are they?
What's wrong with you? Yo, this fucking shit ass. He's gonna stay.
Will you say goodbye to Caleb and Kaylee for me? He's sort of just snuck off.
You'll see him again next year.
Oh shit!
Caleb works at the scrapyard during the off season, and Kaylee, well,